So this is my rant on the highlights of American cinema from the 1900s to the 2012. I think that was the highlight of American cinema and maybe cinema in general. But I mean, you're not gonna see me defending movies like Birth of a Nation and stuff like that. In terms of the culture back then. But in terms of um, how to say it, um, what works is when you have something that is creative and something that is parallel to the overall character building and such. And like for example, I've never been a fan of ET or whatever. Um, I think that movie is terrible, but in general, there's always been focus on trying to make entertainment, and that's the focus. And if it wasn't for people like Joseph McCarthy in the 50s, then basically all you would have now is Salt of the Earth movies from 1954, I think was the year. And that would have just been, less of entertainment and more about preaching to the choir or something. And it was just bad entertainment. So I'm actually grateful for Joseph McCarthy for keeping all this socialist crap out of movies, because they would just have been awful. Yeah, at least we have like 100 years of entertainment now, so that's good. And whatever hipsterish socialist Marxist tanky crap we get now, whatever, we just gotta deal with it. And I'm not saying that American cinema is dead, but it's just I think what is good is you always got lots of good entertainment quality out of the past, in terms of in terms of the like. There were some movies that were terrible, but most of the time they were just good entertainment, and that's what I mean. Whereas now there's just one-dimensional caricature of characters, and just insert something that's lame, and usually they kind of does just try to rehash something, and it kind of does it kind of lacks any kind of quality building of believability. And that's why, for example, in terms of wokeism, in terms of entertainment, they are just not good, because they aren't trying to base them on real people or real life experiences, and that's why they feels almost like something that you could write in Chat GPT. I'm not using that though, because I'm not a sucker for artificial intelligence, and I hate that stuff. That's the only thing I block, honestly. If someone just made AI images or something on a message board, I would just freaking block that shit. So I don't want to watch that shit. But then I don't block opinions, at least. But even if bots can be a thing, but have a good response to that, I guess. But uh, what I mean is, if you take characters that can feel believable and real, like the 90s entertainment was cool, and early 2000s, and the 70s. I've never been a huge fan of 1970s movies, honestly. Because I think the idea is they try to make it more gritty and such. I mean, there's some movies that are good from that era, but usually it's not for me. I'm more of a I usually think 1980s, 1990s, and early 2000s is more up my alley in terms of movies. Honestly, they're more action based and more entertaining, and they're just more for me. And 1930s, 40s, and 50s was just it was more Western, I guess. But Westerns are also cool to watch. Westerns, there's a Western TV series and such. Those are also cool. The 60s, the 60s. I mean, they had some good stuff, probably. I'm not gonna, but I just can't think of something in my head right now. The 1960s, Tom and Jerry, I guess. But but that was maybe in the 40s or 50s. So, the 60s, I don't know. If you can tell me, let me know. But I don't remember anything about the 60s either way. in terms of I don't know, movies and such. I'm pretty sure they exist, but I just don't know. But yeah, like in my view, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. That's like my jam, really. I'm not saying that there aren't any good movies in this day and age. I'm just saying that uh, uh, thanks to Joseph McCarthy, also, I think that guy simply just saved the movie industry from getting bad for 50 more years, honestly. So because just look at the movie Salt of the Earth 1954 movie and tell me that looks good. It's terrible. It's just preachy and it's just so boring. Like this is like the type of movie that should belong in the documentary section. But I think the issue is when movies try to be more about preaching rather than entertainment. Then I think you lost me because. Because that's not the point of movies or entertainment. I mean, like they're supposed to be entertainment first, and then entertainment first. Storytelling, believability of character, what their motives are, why they do this type of things, and then you can put the underlayer things of what you want to personally invest, I guess, later on. Like I could take example of what I hate is. I've tried to defend the old Batman 2022 movie, but then I hated the whole Antifa political crap in that one. Because it did make sense for Catwoman to suddenly say that type of stuff because she's an anarchist. It's against corruption. It's had nothing to do with the politics in our world. Like that part of it was silly. Compare that to let's say Goldeneye with M. That one is actually believable because first of all, it also makes her likable too because she's standing on her own. But it also makes sense because she's in that position, and it's believable. For first of all, it's believable, and that's the second. That's the reason is that you can actually believe that she would say that she's the boss. She has to take charge. So believability is a very important matter, and when writing a character or basing it on someone. And I think the problem is when you write someone that doesn't feel like it can be believable at all, then it just falls flat. And I think really the problem is the hipsters or socialists after 2012. They are just terrible at this. I don't know. I just don't. I don't think the cinema is heading in the right direction. Is what I'm trying to say here. But it's not all terrible. But majority-wise, it's god awful. Even music has been ruined. And I guess the next thing to ruin will be video games. Honestly, make games into movies rather than games. I mean, if Sony gets their way, that's why I switched to Xbox. And I guess I would switch to Nintendo if it wasn't for the fact that they have like inbuilt batteries, because I know inbuilt batteries will explode over years if you can't change the batteries and such. So I just prefer having like a console that can be plugged into like a electrical socket or something. But either way, in terms of entertainment, I would say the golden age is really somewhere in 1900s to 2012. That's what I want to say, really. So that's my rant. Let me know what you think. I guess I can take a little bit of a rant, though. Another rant. I guess the South Park made a little bit joke on Kathleen Kennedy with all joining the Pandaverse, which I thought was pretty funny. I mean, I watched, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I think I watched Jurassic Park and the 1993 movie, and she is kind of like the executive producer or producer of those movies. And I think E.T. was terrible because it's just lame and dumb of a kid getting that emotional attached to a freaking alien. But I know I just thought it was vulgar too, with all insult. No, I mean, first of all, it sounds like a gayest insult ever. Like you would call someone a shithead or an asshole. Like penis breath. What kind of boy says that? That's stupid. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of like what women think boys say or something, or what they act like. The reason why I don't like it is because it feels so insanely manipulative. I guess the people who like E.T. are gonna get pissed at me now, but I don't like that movie at all. Usually, if a boy gets emotional, it's because of something really dumb, like "you took my Xbox," like that stuff that doesn't get emotional for. Like they don't get emotional for silly stuff, you know. Like I can understand if you're like maybe like if you're a teenager, okay, then maybe that can happen. Uh, but when you're a boy, you just want a toy. Like it's not believable at all. Like I never liked that. Even in Home Alone 1, which is a good movie, and I think it's emotional. The last ending of Home Alone 1 movie, when Kevin looks at the old man and they get, that's real emotional. But I think this only hits when you're an adult. I don't think kids would care, honestly. I mean, it would be like clapping, maybe like yeah, yeah. But they don't get attached that well. There's more just yes. I mean, dealing with loss, that one obviously one cries about, if you're a boy or something. But I'm just talking about realism now. I'm never been a fan of the whole boy crying shit. Unless it makes sense. But either way. Um, so about Kathleen Kennedy. I've never been a Star Wars fan. I don't even like Star Trek or superheroes. In general, because I'm more of an action hero, action movie, comedy, horror movie type of person. I like more of those from early 2000s. Um, but Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy, she kind of did get a lot of flack for that one because the sequels were terrible, and and then it kind of dwell on the whole pandering to a certain group. But the problem is, it really is just lazy writing. That's the problem. Because again, you're not trying to make the character believable. It's like, okay, let's take for example here that I have a caricature of a character from a movie I like, and then you're just race swapping them, and it's just insanely lazy, and it just hurts the whole thing. Because if you can't write believable characters, then people are not going to care for it or want to watch it. I just end up in the garbage bin. It's terrible. So I don't know. You know, I wonder what she even worked with when she was at the Steven Spielberg or Disney or something. Because apparently, you have to work for that long until you get like in higher position. That's like the smart. Uh, that's kind of what you consider the smart thing to do when you are in a lower position and you climb up the corporate ladder or something. And she probably like I don't know, maybe a super liberal or something. I have no idea what your politics are, but she is definitely fighting for the progressive stuff, progressive stuff. There's executive management as such. I don't know. She didn't respect George Lucas' wishes for Star Wars, so there's that. But yeah, I really just think the problem is just lazy writing. Like you have to at least have something that can be believable. And see the issues when you just have caricature of someone and then just insert that like let's maybe take an example there of if you have George W. Bush, and then you have someone that acts like him, but just race swapping that guy, it would just be not believable. It would just be stupid. No, that's an example of laziness, So in general, you should just try to make originality and not try to just base it so much off original works. Just make something that can be a believable character in a new story or something. So yeah, that's the issue is when movies are so lazy they can't do that. Yeah, but yeah, that's why I personally, to me, I just consider the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s to be the best era of American cinema in my view. But yeah, generally speaking, I just wonder what you think about it. But yeah, that's just my rant. Thank you for listening, and bye.